Hi everyone, this is Steffi and welcome back to the Financial Fox. Today on the show I have Harry Horsfall, CEO of Zebu Digital. Harry is putting together a great event later on in September that is gathering all the crypto community in the UK with also representative from the governments as well. And yeah, it's going to be a great event talking about NFT, Metaverse, cryptocurrency, about how we all can put together our effort to move the industry forward because there is a lot of talent in the UK. And we should all look at the challenges, but also the opportunity and work together to move the industry forward. So more details about the event are in the description with the link to register as well. But now let's dive into this interview with Harry. We are going to be talking about not only the event, but also crypto marketing, about all the opportunity that is here in London and in the UK, and also, what we can do better to get crypto mainstream. Hi, Harry, how are you?
Hey Steffi, yeah, I'm really good, thank you. Really excited to be here. I come back from my brother's wedding. Luckily, it didn't rain, and I'm busy, really busy. But as I say to the team, like if you're working in Web3, I assume you're busy. Only report back if you're not busy. But yeah, really good, thanks.
That's brilliant. It's great to hear, that you can also have fun and manage to do, you are actually preparing for a big event in London, which I was quite surprised to see how many speakers, how many people you got involved. So tell me a little bit more about it.
Yeah, so we're preparing for Zebu Live and Web3 Week. This is an evolution of DeFi Live, which we did last year. We started work in August last year, and we delivered it in November. So it was a real rush, bootstrapped, bootstrapped fully. So this year we've had 9 months to plan, and the goal is really just to highlight all the amazing stuff that's happening in London. It's there's multiple events through the week, lunches, dinners, breakfasts, big parties. The main event will be on Thursday, starting on Thursday, um, and then Friday, and then we have an after party at Coco between 7 and 5 a.m. So that's gonna be fun for those with stamina. We've got nearly 150 speakers now, 30 media partners, 25 sponsors. And it's a real operation. It's amazing seeing it come to life. Um, there's this We've got so much cool stuff planned. We've got Stephen Bartlett, who's a dragon, and also making Third Web, which is kind of like WordPress for Web3 apps. So like no code smart contracts. Really exciting. He's gonna be really exciting. We've got one of the most bullish members of Parliament, who is actively trying to help push the Web3 space forward in the UK, which makes me very excited because being in the space for so long, it's often been looked at as oh, that's nice, oh, they're just messing around with it. And then for the first time, the government are properly taking it seriously and really trying to build out the ecosystem and all the opportunity that is going to arrive. And then of course we've got loads of people that I've just known over the last 10 years who lots of people won't know yet, but they're doing really cool stuff. So it's a real mixture of big names, up and coming people, few really stars, and I'm just really excited to see everyone come. And we just hit 1,350 tickets, which in a bear market is just so exciting. It's the people that are just there for up only. They're probably not going to be taking time off work, and actually, as we all know, real results are made in the bear market. We look at Solana, we look at Binance, all formed 2017-18, ready for this next wave. I think the next wave of bull market, hopefully soon, but when this macro economy calms down. But obviously, I reckon it'll be very soon, and really excited just to bring everyone together.
I think it's great what you mentioned about, the UK, what, the government is trying to do to support the industry moving forward, but also so many projects, they are actually born here and they are doing amazing stuff and not many know. And I think this is kind of like the thing, right? You go abroad to the US for the main conference all over the world, and then you look to your own country and you actually realizing how much innovation is there, and it looks like you are very exciting. So tell me a little bit about the project that you have brought to the event, and you think they are doing cool stuff in the space.
Yeah, so we've got some really, really exciting projects coming. Some like massive names like Algorand, Near, Tezos. Big top 30 projects who are based in the UK and view the UK as a very interesting growth. We've also got lots of we've got dancing seahorses who are a big team of LA, and they're based in LA, UK, and Australia, and they're about to release their NFTs, which are really cool, sort of music exclusive stuff. And they've got connections to massive artists. Um, yeah, who else do we have? We've got Swapscool, there are Dex. So loads of cool sort of UK companies that are doing stuff. And of course, we've got Cavanwell, we've got Miner, lots of service providers. So lots of room for projects to connect and see, oh, right, this is how I can build. Yeah, really, really excited. I think, the talks are great, but also just meeting people and being like, oh, this is how we can collab, which is what we all need, really.
Yeah, yeah, I agree completely. And also, the UK has gone through an interesting time with obviously Brexit, then you have got COVID and, inflation. And, it's always been, London has always been at the center of financial markets. And now with crypto,
Yeah.
it looks like it wasn't, at the forefront like it used to be. So how important is for the UK to push into innovation, to embrace crypto, to get the regulators to understand what is happening, to get the government on board? How important is that for our country to keep innovating and keep the economy flourishing as well?
I mean, it's so important. It's been very frustrating. My previous role, I worked for a very, very conservative and strong exchange, Luno. I remember we put in our application for an FCA license about 5 years ago, 5 or 6 years ago. They still haven't got round to sorting it. Um, and what we're seeing in the world right now is we're seeing a drive for, before, I mean, I've grown up over the last few years. Every time China or India put out FUD, someone's sending it to me and being, haha. And everything's flipped on its head now. We've now got, you now got Miami, New York, Dubai, Lisbon. All of these cities are racing to embrace Web. And I think the shift away from calling it crypto to Web3, it's much easier for people to understand. This is just applied internet. We've gone from Web 1 where we read, Web 2 where we read and write, Web 3 where we read, write, own, and the level of opportunity that this offers a country, and as British and Londoners, we love to follow regulation. We have a very, one of the reasons why people love doing business in the UK is you're not going to wake up one day and the government has just illegitimately seized your business or shut down your business, because we have very, very strict and fair regulations and good courts. So for entrepreneurs and innovators to not be able to have to guess what they're thinking and have to try and do this and eventually push themselves offshore or to a region that is being like, right, I want to support Web3, like Lisbon has done. The scene there is absolutely booming. Um, and as you said in your point, the UK has always been a leader in fintech, and so it's been very frustrating for the last few years watching the slow speed. The way to get Web3 is to use it, isn't it? If you try and think too hard about how is a MetaMask working, how am I connecting to a protocol, etc., etc., it's very confusing. If you just jump in, connect to a MetaMask, use a protocol, trade a bit, whatever, however you're using it, suddenly you realize it's just like using Web 2. And I think the government has done a really good job recently. There's been lots of FCA sort of focus groups with the industry leaders in the UK. There's people petitioning, and they're really listening. And for the first time, they're not saying, "Oh my God," they're saying, "How can we use this?" We saw this with the Royal Mail, one of the oldest, most established companies in the UK. They're about to mint their NFTs. The Bank of England are looking at CBDC, central bank digital currencies. So they really have gone, oh wow, we got to learn now, and they got to move quickly because it's a very competitive global market, and if all the talent is moving away to a different region, then London will suffer. I'm pretty confident that the talent we have here and the resources, that soon the UK will be a leader, and that's why I'm so excited to have a member of Parliament come and talk at our event, and hopefully see the cool stuff that everyone's doing. I've been invited to the House of Lords a few times, and we know that the change is coming. My only concern is, we say in Web3, I want this done yesterday, and I'm not really sure governments move at the speed we move at. So like for example, Switzerland, they did a really great thing where they made a sandbox. They're like, for the next 3 years, we don't understand this, okay? Like, we don't understand. I don't even understand it fully. I'm still learning every day. So they're saying we don't understand where this is going, but for the next 3 years, there's a sandbox for innovation, and that's where you're going to make, you can test, you can try, and at the end of that time, we're going to make the rules that are fair, because deep down, we don't want rug pulls. We don't want people scamming people and all of that stuff in the early stages of this new industry. So we do want to protect consumers, but we don't want to block innovation. So it's a really hard line, and obviously, so that's, I'm excited, bullish, very bullish.
So, what as an industry, what can we do more? And also as influencers that knows about the space, what we can do more to help, the government, to help regulators, to help people also that don't know about the space to get up to speed.
I think it's to really help them is to like make it simple. I think as someone that like works in messaging a lot, sometimes things can sound very complicated, and actually, as we move, they take the word NFT. It's a terrible word. It'd be a bit like me saying, "Oh, Steffi, let's do our interview on the World Wide Web." You're not. You're like, "Oh, here's the link. Jump." NFT, non-fungible token, all it means is digital ownership. And as we progress further with using the technology, and people start using it, and the terminology becomes more relatable, I think people can really start to understand it, and they go, oh, okay, that does make sense. This is how it's going to work. I think as influencers like yourself and making great content, that isn't just shilling shitcoins or pumping bags, but actually saying like, guys, this is why this is interesting. This is where this is going to add value to your business as an entrepreneur, or this is where it's going to add value to your policy making. I think there's a lot of talk about DAOs at the moment. How does a DAO work? How can it be used? How can voting be used? I still think it's crazy when we're voting, that we go and get a piece of paper sent to us, or we go to a polling booth and have to put it in a box. I think blockchain could be an incredible verification tool for that. And so it's like, how can this be integrated? How can it be done in a safe way? And how can consumers be protected? And I think that comes from, we need good guidance on advertising, like risk warnings, all of that stuff that can be fair, so people can know what they're using and how they're using it.
What are you most excited in the Web3 crypto space?
I'm excited for like I mean, we in marketing we use the word utility a lot. It's been hyped, but I'm really excited for, like, I'm a very early Monzo user. Monzo uses 6,000, 7,000, yeah, and they've got five or 6 million users now. That product is actually really, really good. It was very, even now after all these years, every time I'm doing a MetaMask transaction, I'm like, double checking the code, etc., etc. And I think when we have that breakthrough moment, our WhatsApp moment, that people aren't calling it a Web3 app, they're just like, right, I'm jumping on Uniswap. It's brilliant. And I think once we have that breakthrough moment, because people don't, like, I travel quite a lot, and when I arrive in Cape Town, I'm not like, oh my God, Uber is amazing. I love it. I'm like, I need to get a taxi from the airport to my hotel. I don't know how it works. I don't really care how it works, how a front end talks to a back end, that talks to a database, that talks to all of the. I just want a taxi to take me to the airport. And I think at the moment, a lot of the development of the layer ones, Ethereum just about to go for its upgrade, near Solana, Aptos is super hyped. Just, it's made by the Facebook team and it's meant to do 46,000 transactions a second. These L1s, they're getting to a point where they're stable, they're powerful, and now people can start really building on top of them. And hopefully we get one of these apps that's like a breakthrough app, that you don't have to talk about the tech. You talk about what is going to be, what the value is going to be added to you, Steffi. Like, how's it going to make your life better? How's it going to make your life easier? And when we was doing a talk with a guy called Alan Boyd, who was one of the founders of Microsoft, and he was like, when we made the home computer in 1981, everyone laughed at us. The personal computer, as he calls it, everyone laughed at us. Like, what are you going to do with this massive? Obviously, they didn't have the internet. What are you going to do with this massive box that just does, you install a recipe or your finances on? And he said it took them a long time to, adjust behaviors. And it's similar with the metaverse at the moment. At the moment, the metaverse is very basic. We're doing what we would do in a normal world. Whereas what we actually need to think is like, wow, where is the metaverse going to go? I don't know, really don't know at all. But I know at the moment we're using it wrong. And after 5, 10 years, the way we're going to use it and not do what we normally would do with things, I think there's just endless possibilities. Whether it's, you're trying on a new suit, or you're going shopping and you can jump in, you can see it on you. Virtual meetings like the Google Meets can kind of be a lot. As everyone's so much more global, you build your own office in the metaverse and everyone can go hang out there. So I think what I'm really to wrap up that point is, I'm really excited for the. We joke in the office sometimes that, like, Web3 is worse than Web1 in terms of design and usability, and I'm excited for it to go really click and make people's lives better.
Yeah, that's a very important point, and also open up new opportunity, because, as you said, even DeFi, what we are doing in the metaverse is just a replication or a different kind of things what we are doing in real life. But there are actually new experience that we can only have there just because it's the virtual world, and also one of the aspects that I'm very excited about myself is digital identities, and as the virtual world is developing, as there is more need for privacy, there is also this opportunity to have different identity for yourself. So you have your real life, you have the metaverse, and it's like a multiple identity where you can express yourself in the fullness rather than being restricted from the environment, whatever is physical or a specific digital one that you have. But I mean, one of the aspects that you did mention, and I think is quite interesting, is about marketing, because most of companies and brands, they keep pushing the accelerator on the marketing side, right? Telling everything they are doing with NFT, Metaverse, just because they want to do some PR looking cool. But there isn't a strategy there. There isn't a product that is actually backing this, big push on PR. And you have been in the marketing space for a long time. So what I wanted to ask you is, what actually is the best approach to do. I've got my own views, and I think sometimes that too much marketing is wrong if you don't have anything to back it up. What's your take, and how perhaps companies should, think about marketing in a more sustainable and strategic way as well?
Yeah, so I guess I was a Web 2 growth hacker right in the early stages when Facebook would let us go viral before they just capped it straight out. And I think the the intriguing thing about marketing is we're not magicians. All we're doing is creating hype and essentially funnels and eyeballs on projects. And so I think the intriguing part is that if we look at the early stage 2016, that there were lots of very, very clever people writing very interesting and dynamic white papers. So they were writing a white paper, which is essentially a pitch, a business plan of where their project could go. Ethereum wanted to go here, Cardano wanted to go there, but in reality, the market was valuing a white paper and not a very established business at $30 billion. Crazy, crazy stuff when you think of the valuations of MasterCard or real businesses with 20, 30 years of operating and processes. And I think the early stage of the crypto marketing was shilling. It's like, and you're selling the future, that this is the hype, this is where we're going. And we saw that a lot in early 2010 when apps were first invented. People used to draw a wireframe of an app that they wanted, a mobile app that they wanted to make, and then they'd raise hundreds of millions of dollars off the back of this wireframe. I think the exciting thing that we're seeing now is people are able to make a much better MVP before they come to market. As the market develops, people, last year when people were doing NFT projects, they would literally just have a bit of art and they'd be like, this is the roadmap, and eventually we will do this. And I think what we're seeing now is that we're seeing a lot more. We're seeing a lot more. It's a lot easier to market a product, because you can drive people to their stickiness to the product, see how they work. I think community is obviously still a massive part of crypto, and you can't just blast adverts. And I also think that's because in crypto there's a lot of trust issues as well. So referral and building an organic community is great, but it's also really, really hard. You can't just build an organic community in 2.5 weeks, you know. So it's a mixture of like time, if you had, or blasting funnels. I think the marketing is going to improve a lot. I think as the tech develops, and yeah, I think the best thing about Web3 marketing is there's no right way to do it. We're still learning what's working. It's about being authentic. It's about working what really works for your project. It's a mixture of you know PR, growth hacking, working with key opinion leaders, and making great content, and then it's all doing it really, really quickly in a sort of,
Yeah.
and obviously there's a bit of FOMO.
I so much agree with you. There is no way right to do it, because sometimes you just focus on influencer or social media, or maybe it's the press, or maybe it's the event. It's kind of like a mix, and you have to find your own best recipe, and eventually it's going to be the right one for you. Anyway,
Yeah, because there's lots of different channels, isn't there? Telegram, very good for DeFi. Discord resonates a lot more with NFT communities. Is it Twitter? Are you going on to, so there's lots of very new channels, and we're still figuring out the formula for these. And of course, there's still the old channels as well. I spend a lot of time on Reddit. 4chan can be a great place to go viral, and Reddit, and etc. And it's understanding who your audience is, where are they living, where do they want to engage in this content, and not doing too many. When you see projects with 30 channels, all of them half run, it's kind of not great. And of course, you want your community to be marketing you. You want the people building the project. in this decentralized way to also be helping create the content. The likes of the key opinion leaders making content about you, and that verification. But yeah, no, really, really exciting. I think some of the people we're working with at the moment, they're coming up with really innovative ideas. And then in a more sort of on the non-project side, obviously in the Super Bowl, we've seen the big boys, FTX, Binance, Crypto.com. They've gone mega on those sponsorships. Avalanche have got an F Formula E team. Tezos have got that crazy partnership with Manchester United. This is mainstream stuff. BAYC had Snoop Dogg and Eminem make a song and use their BAYC avatars. This is real. We've moved far away from just talking about a white paper. These are like, Manchester United is one of the biggest brands in the world. Every single game they've got Tezos running around the LED lights. So exciting stuff as we sort of start to legitimize.
Yeah, exactly. Well, let's see where we go. And that was such a great chat, and I'm really looking forward to the event. So just to wrap it up, give us the detail where anybody in London can come, and where they can buy the ticket, and just remind the date as well.
Awesome. So it's the 20th to 23rd of September. zebulive.xyz. All the information's there, or Twitter. Hopefully our SEO is good. It'd be bad if it wasn't, but if you just type in Zebu Live to Google, and yeah, that really, really excited. Thanks so much for having me. Hopefully it's a great event. Really looking forward to having you there, and hopefully we can have a few drinks at the after party, and get to meet all the amazing, the London community at the moment is amazing. There's so many cool people making their own little events, and for them all to collab together and come into one big event, I'm really, really excited. And yeah, thanks so much for having me, Steffi. Have a great day.
Thank you, Harry. It was just a brilliant interview. And come on, London community, come and get together, and let's move the crypto industry forward. Thank you, Harry.
Cheers. Thank you. Have a great day.